Thank you for joining Arby's Kitchen Talk, where the heart touches the soul. And this is episode 7. With me, I have 3 wonderful guests: Dr. Jazzman Crawford, Pastor Cynthia Screen-Sheared, and Roshelle Grant. Rochelle, do you have a title? I'm just
No,
curious.
it's
No?
no. Shall yes.
All right. Thank you so much for being with me. And I just want to give you opportunity just to talk a little bit, share a little bit about yourself. Dr. Crawford, you want to start?
Yes. Hi, everyone. So, just a little bit about me. I practice HR by trade. I am a mom of 3 amazing boys. So, we are a very busy family, and we have somehow learned to gracefully manage home and work and career. So, I've been blessed to be able to do both.
Excellent. Wonderful. Pastor Shear, do you want to share a little bit about yourself?
Yes. Hello, everyone. Well, I'm a mother of 2, and I have 2 grandchildren, and now I have a new goddaughter who I am raising. She's 4 months. So I have a 32-year-old, and also my son-in-law is like my son as well, my child as well. He's 39, and then a 12-year-old and a 6-year-old grandchild. I am married. I pastor part-time, and I am a school teacher for the Philadelphia School District. And I am Rhonda Coe's cousin. Actually, she's my favorite cousin. And I'm on here tonight to assist and I guess give my opinion about the topic on tonight. Thank you.
Great. Rochelle, tell us something about yourself.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. Thank you to Rhonda Coe, my cousin as well. I appreciate the invitation. Thank you, and I'm honored to sit amongst these beautiful ladies. So a little bit about myself is I love the Lord. I'm really trying to seek the Lord so that I can live a life that that is very pleasing to Him. Um, I've been in the education system working there for like 30 plus years, and I'm not married. I'm not a mom or anything like that, but however, one day it will happen.
It will.
And yes, it will. So tonight I'm just here to enjoy the conversation and be a part of a wonderful experience that is about to happen. So for all of you that are here that are going to come on, God bless you.
Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction, and I'm so pleased that you've come on. So let's get started by asking this question: if you were advising your younger self about how to relate to your partner, to men, to a man, what would you say to yourself?
Well, I think I'll kick that one off.
Okay,
All right. I honestly I would say speak less and listen more.
okay,
I'm very quick to want to answer. I'm quick to want to speak. I'm quick to have an answer. And I think as if I was to give myself advice, it would be Kirata, pay attention. Jasmine, don't speak too much. Listen to that inner self. Listen to what the body is saying. Listen to what's not being said. I think oftentimes we look at what's being said in the body language more than what's not being said. And if we talk less and listen more with our eyes and our heart, I think that, I could have avoided a lot of mistakes from my past.
good. That's great. Awesome.
Yes. And I would say slow down
Mm.
Yeah.
um, and seek the eternal passionately for an answer before going past the green light. In my younger days, um, I moved in haste. And one thing about it, it did not turn out successful. It actually turned into a shipwreck, to be honest. So I would advise my younger self to slow down and hear the voice of the Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
it's good. That's awesome.
Yes, that is. Now I wrote down my questions, and I tell you, Dr. Crawford, you were there. You were there.
We're
So
there.
I might. Yeah, yeah, like you, I mean, you have exactly what I had, written down. But however, I think now I would say, don't be afraid to be yourself, be authentic, be yourself. But however, consider, the other, and don't be afraid to ask deep questions, and don't be afraid to, like, let's say, if you wanted to go like to another country or another state or somewhere, just offer it. If he's not offering it, don't be afraid to say, hey, I'm going to take not the lead, but I want to, I'm going to take the gesture or the move to say, let's do this. It's okay. And if, you can't, then you can't, but it is okay to be yourself. And as Dr. Crawford said, listen, watch body language, because body language talks a lot and it speaks a lot, but we just have to be able to watch it and listen to it, because it communicates to us all the time, right?
Right.
So yeah, absolutely. So, pay attention and, be submissive and do things that are like spontaneous and surprising. But however, communicate, and communication is very, very big for me. I mean, that's like number one. If you can't do that, then we can't even
Mm.
Right.
continue.
Yeah.
So, you know, communicate and take that communication to a level that you probably don't think you can take it to. But go there, try it and see how it works out. You might really be surprised and see that, hey, wow, I've learned something about myself and that other person, and just the environment, the culture, anything it could be, just anything. Just don't be afraid. But however, just you have to have respect. It has to be respectful.
So now you're referring to when you talk about body language, are you talking about your own or his, or is it a combination of both that you're
I
listening to?
Yeah, I would say both. But if you're communicating, definitely want to pay attention to his, because you want to make sure that you want on the same page, that you're not overstepping boundaries or you're not making anyone else uncomfortable. So you want to really pay attention to eye contact. As a teacher, I used to always tell my students, the human eye will speak before the mouth will. So always pay attention to the eye. The eyes will tell you before the mouth will, and that's a fact. That's not a myth. Pay attention to the body language. People, their gestures will tell you if they're into you or not. I mean, when a man is really into you, they tend to lean closer to you, right? They tend to want to be closer to you. So when you are paying attention to the body language, you will have your answers. You'll see eye contact, even if they stare at you a lot. If they stare at you, they're interested. And I don't want to say, like, I'm not a doctor, but these are some things that, listening to YouTube and listening and just experiencing on my own, you know, the body language will tell you a lot if you just slow down, pay attention, and just reflect.
Right. It's interesting you should say that because eye language has always been really important for me. The eye, be able to look at someone and have them look back at me,
Mhm.
and when they don't, it's always left me feeling a little bit uncertain. Because I feel like if you can't look at me closely, then maybe there's something that to hide, but maybe that's not exactly. I mean, it could be something else. But yeah, if you can't communicate by and look at me, that sent really red flags before me. It's like something's just not right. you
It's
know
funny you said that. I'm going to piggyback off of that. I recall with my eldest son, his first complaint from the teacher that he got home. He is neurodiverse, and it was the complaint. He was not looking the teacher in the eye, And to this day, my eldest son still has an issue with looking you in the eye. If you say something to him, he goes over there and goes over there. And I used to think it was the most disrespectful thing you could do. You're going to look me in my eye. You're going to look me in my eye. And I would try to force him to look me in my eye, only for in 2 seconds, he's like this.
Right.
I'm
Right.
like, what am I doing? All for the cultural normalities that we say are, this is what we should do.
Exactly. I mean, it's like, it's elementary, right? You know, how is it to talk to someone and they're looking in the opposite direction,
Like,
or they're looking
here.
past you? So that's a clear sign for me anyway, you know.
Absolutely.
For me. So let me just say this. I often think that if I had lived on my own, you know what I mean? If I had traveled, if I was a single person, to be able to, so that I could find out who Rhonda was, that would have been extremely beneficial for me. Extremely beneficial. So I just wanted to throw that in case anybody wanted to know. Yeah.
I'm co-signing that. I definitely wish that there was a point in my life that I didn't rush into motherhood so young in my life, and just really got to know who are you, woman? Because you're amazing. Just who are you? You never got to explore that.
You know, because there are a lot of, you know, if you think about it, a lot of mistakes that we made because we didn't know who we really were. You know, especially folks who grew up in the church, you know, you kind of just know that. And there's no real discussion about growing into who you are, you know, becoming that person. So I think that would have been something that would have been a benefit to me. So there are a lot of men playing games on social media and off of social media. You know, you've got this catfishing, you know, you've got bait and switch, and the chameleon guy, and you know, my girlfriend, you know, a lot of stuff going on social media in particular. What is that all about? Why is that? I don't understand why there has to be the game. What's that all about?
Honestly, I say people looking for attention.
Right.
And I have to say too, it's their mindset. It's about how many people can I get or attract, you know, and it's like a game. It is a game, you know, and I find that to be, even in the church, with a lot of the men that represent, you know, Christ, they're all about game, you know. I want to see if I can get more women than you can.
Right.
And then they come together and they compare.
Really? Is that what? Okay.
I was about to say, I also think it's this big trend and push towards these open relationships or these polyamorous relationships. And so it's like, hey, I want to try to attain as many women as I can. It's something missing within them that they need external validation.
Yes.
So they are missing this vulnerable piece. Maybe their mother wasn't there for them, so they're on a mission to abuse women, or maybe the wrong person was there. It's so many different variables that we can try to explore craziness. That's what I think it is. I think it's something that's just missing. To purposefully deceive somebody. Yes. You have to be kind of a sociopath. I'm sorry.
Your mindset. Yeah.
Insecurity. I would say insecurity. You know, I mean, as you said, you know, they're seeking attention. They're lonely. You know, they need that validation. They need that interaction with someone, you know, to help their ego. You know, so I just think insecurity, where you have to manipulate and hurt people.
Hurt people.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. So this wouldn't be so prevalent if it wasn't working, right? So it's working. And so on the flip side of that, you've got women who are susceptible because Because of what? I don't know. Is it because they are lacking something themselves? You know, are they searching for
There,
love
Some
in the wrong place? I mean, what is it?
have
some
y'all
of
all seen the TikTok that's going around with Risa or Risa? I think
I've
it
heard.
is.
Yeah.
And I watched a little bit of this, and for the life of me, I couldn't understand why that one red flag wasn't enough, or that second red flag, and now we're on 50th red flag. And what was it within you that kept saying you're not worth it, that you don't deserve better, that you just want to be in a relationship by any means necessary, so you're willing to compromise your own values just to say that you have a man? I think, or a partner, or somebody. I think that's really what we all need to look at. Why have we resorted to going to social media to find a spouse? Why are we no longer going out into the public? I mean, I found my husband in the baseball park, where we were there with our children. Why aren't we going back to going in the community and finding somebody within your community that's trustworthy and that you can potentially build with? And that way you will know that this person may have a second, third, or fourth, or fifth, or sixth, or seventh life.
Right.
But we have
That's
to pay attention to those signs.
right. And whatever that thing is within us, you know, that's lacking, that's empty, you know, because
Right.
it's got to be something that we don't see the red flag because it's there.
It's there.
Right.
All we have to do is open our eyes, and have that discernment and pray. A lot of
Yeah.
times
Trust.
we're missing prayer. We're missing a lot of prayer in our life, and we're so hungry to be with somebody and not taking the time to say this is the person that I want, that I need to wait for. Or we allow
exactly.
circumstances to push us to
Yeah.
and say, hey, you know what? Like in my instance, I was pregnant. Okay, we're gonna get married. 20 years old, 21 years old, you should not be getting married just because you got pregnant,
Right.
but then we do it because that's what we are trained to do in the church. So you don't want to, be out of wedlock, or you don't want to be in sin, or shacking up. So sometimes we look for these things and we ignore all the signs that we should have paid attention to.
And
Exactly.
sometimes too, we're affected by peer pressure. We see all of our peers getting married, getting engaged, and then we start thinking our time is running out. I need to hurry up. Everyone around me is getting married. And then we become desperate.
That's right. I think that's the good word. That's a good word for this whole conversation, desperate.
Mm-hmm.
And I think not quite knowing who you are and what your worth is,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
you know, because when you settle for, you know, usually what you're getting, it doesn't demonstrate, you know, what your worth is, you
That's
know.
Absolutely.
right.
Having an hour of someone's time says that you don't value your worth.
Right.
Absolutely. And you see that a lot with some of these switch and bait things that they got going on. It's like, okay, well, I'm coming to you before the gym, or I'm coming to you after the gym, but where's the rest of your time?
Right?
Right.
Where are you when? See, I'm emotional. I need to be able to call on you when I'm happy. I need to be able to call on you when I'm sad. If I need support, I need you there. See, life gives you life, and life be life, and you
It's true.
you have to have a partner that is
Right.
available when lives.
That's right.
That's
And if they can't be, there's something wrong. Either it's you or there's somebody else.
That's
But
right.
you better open the book and start reading.
That's right. Rochelle,
And
you were going
then,
to say something. Or Ben, yeah.
yes. And another thing I noticed too, we skip over marriage counseling a lot of times too before tying the knot. Marriage
hmm
counseling is essential because a
yes.
lot of things come out in marriage counseling.
Mm.
A lot of things come out in marriage counseling. And I think that, you know, we're also very quick to want to be in a relationship and want to tie the knot without knowing who it is you're tying that knot with,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because it takes time.
Absolutely.
And you know, when you marry someone, you're marrying not just that person you see, but you're marrying whatever flaws, whatever issues that come. So, and sometimes you just need time. You need time to see that happen.
Absolutely.
Rochelle, you were going to say something. I don't want to.
No, I mean, I think they're both hitting on it. It's really true. I mean, I think that when you say marriage is kind of like the elephant in the room, especially in my opinion, I think in the Black community, it's like, oh, we don't go to counseling, we don't see counseling. And I think that, again, it's a myth, or it's probably the way it used to be, but I don't think now. I mean, now I think that we hear more and more Black people that are going for counseling and maybe saving their marriage or whatever relationship, so I think that's on point, and it's very important that we if we feel like we need to go, it's okay to go.
That's right, most definitely. Um, let's talk a little bit about emotional intelligence. All right, what does that mean to you when you talk about your partner, what you want from your partner? What is this? We hear about it in the workplace. If you're in HR, you hear about it there. What about when you are in a relationship? How do you know your man, your partner is emotionally intelligent? And if you don't have one, what are you looking for?
Well, I
What?
think for me, I think that we need to know, be aware of other people's emotions and feelings. So if a man, for me, can identify that, okay, well, right now she's feeling emotional or whatever, she's going through something, can you take the initiative and be supportive and communicate with me to find out, not to say that he's got to be the counselor in the relationship, but can we talk about it? What is it? And vice versa, as well as myself, I need to be able to recognize that in him if something's going on, to be able to say, okay, there's something going on, you want to talk about it, and maybe offer my opinion, and maybe a solution. So to be able to show up, I think, to be able to show up mentally, physically and mentally, if I say, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to be there at 2:00 so that we can discuss or whatever, we'll walk to the park or whatever and just talk about it. Show up at 2:00, be there, be sensitive. I think you have to be able to, help a person when you know that they need that help. You have to show up
Show up.
mentally. Have to show up mentally, 100%,
Okay.
and just be. I think that's just major for me. Show up and um, just be there. Try to be creative at that point if you can. You know, because as she said, life happens, and life is life, and is life in big time.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
I'm going to piggyback off of what you said, Rochelle, and pick up off of empathy.
Yeah.
A lot of times I think all the ladies have touched on communication and how important it is in a relationship, and just having the ability, the self-awareness and the self-regulation to be able to navigate those critical and crucial conversations that are vital to the success of your relationship, and be able to motivate your partner every day. There's going to be some down days and there's going to be some up days, but I need you to know how to be that perfect measuring cup. Pour into me that day what I need. If I need encouragement, pour into me that day encouragement. If I need some type of motivation, motivate me. I remember in my relationship where I hit a high weight, my highest weight ever. And my husband said to me, he's like, baby, it's not that I think you're too big. He's like, but what I am scared of is for your health. And will you be around, to see Kedrick graduate? And when you have somebody there to be able to navigate that conversation, he could have said I was big, fat, and sloppy. He didn't.
Mm,
He literally said, I'm concerned for your health.
yes.
That is the self-awareness and that emotional intelligence that you need to be able to say, I love you and I'm concerned about you. And so this is what I want you to do, or this is what I need for us to do. And better yet, I'm going to start walking with you. I'm going to get up and start working out with you. Now we're going to do this together. And while you're losing weight, I'm going to lose it with you. So just having a partner in your relationship that is emotionally intelligent enough to communicate. And once you can figure that out, all the rest will fall right into place.
Excellent. That's awesome.
That's
Yes.
right. And another thing that I know and I recognize that emotionally intelligent or emotionally intelligence is social skills. And I'm finding in this generation, in this season, a lot of men, they lack social skills. They hide behind a cell phone.
Mm.
They're texting nonstop.
Okay.
You want to hear from them on the phone.
All right.
Wow.
We go out on a date or we go out for an event. They're hiding behind a cell phone.
Mm.
Put the cell phone away.
Yes.
And let's bind. Let's find out, what's going on, what's motivating you, what's not motivating you, and just being self-aware.
Mhm.
The self-awareness is paramount as well.
Absolutely.
But you can't know that if you're always on a cell phone or you're hiding behind a cell phone.
Yeah.
So I find that a lot of males, they just don't have that social skill anymore.
Mm. Is it because they're not confident in themselves? Is that why they're hiding? Is it because they aren't comfortable with being able to share how they feel? So, is this why? I mean, what do you think?
I think it's a combination of both.
Yeah.
I think it's going back to what you were saying earlier as far as the social media and the online presence.
Shit.
I think because that is the way of life right now. Everything is on social media. They have a built-in outlet and excuse not to communicate. Everything is instant. Just say one word. I mean, we're now not even writing words and just sending emojis or bitcoins or we're so far away from even the words.
Yes.
So now
true.
pictures speak for us.
So
So
true.
in a generation of less emotionally intelligent, less social skills. I mean, we can go to the park and see every youth on their phone when there's 10 at a table. Like all of y'all are in your phones. You go to the dinner table. I mean, my house, there's a rule. You don't have your phone at my dinner table.
Absolutely.
But we can go out to dinner and every child is on a tablet. The parents are on their phones. And well, what are we out here spending this good money for?
Right. Okay. But wait, but I just got to interject here because remember, I'm a little bit older than you are, Jazzman. Okay. So what about those who are 50 and over? They didn't have cell phones like they have now. Somewhere along the line, they missed the ability to develop communication. Or this is just my. I mean, something's not. Because what if they put their phone down? What happens when they say, okay, I'm going to put the phone down? Then what happens next?
Nothing.
Then it's that awkward silence.
Nothing.
It's quiet.
Yep. I think it goes back to when she said about fishing. I really do, because oh my God, it's just like I just really believe that that's happening to a lot of people, that people are just being fished right now or getting fished. So that's why, I don't want to show you what I look like. I can't show you what I look like, or they come up with some kind of excuse to not show you, and I'm like, yo, I want to hear a voice, I want to see a person. I want to go out. Let's go out. Let's meet somewhere and go out. Nope. So it's just.
So do you really think that there is generational, like, I don't know. I really want to go back to that, because can a elder, full transparency, I haven't sat down with a lot of older gentlemen to hold conversations, but are you really telling me that there are older men out here, 50 plus, who can be on a date or have a conversation and can't hold a intelligent conversation?
Some can and some
Absolutely.
can't. Yeah.
I see it. Mhm.
Yes, most definitely. It's almost as if you've thrown them, they can't swim and you've thrown them in the water.
Mhm.
They're
Mhm.
completely out of their element.
Yeah,
Exactly.
intimidation too.
Right. I mean,
Intimidation.
I'm sorry.
Intimidation too. You
Right.
know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly.
Especially as an educator, I find that, some men, they feel like, okay, because you're educated now, I gotta, be able to, I have to come to you at a certain level and have a certain standard. Yeah, okay, but I don't look down on you either. You know what I mean? I'm not that type of person like, oh, like I'm better than you. No, I don't think of you like that. Be yourself, be you, because it doesn't matter. I mean, yes, we all want someone that's at our level, but as you get older,
I think
really,
it depends on what that level is. Because if we're saying at the level, my husband has a high school diploma, I have a doctorate, we wouldn't
mhm,
be at the same level. But that man was everything I needed and above. So he matched my level on another level that
oh,
is not
absolutely,
materialistic. So I think
right,
honestly, it depends on what level you consider yourself on and what you're willing to. I mean, everybody wants this high-figured man or that six-figure salary man, but there's only but so much of that statistically. We can't debate math. If only
right,
3% of the US can make over $100,000, the chances of you having a man that's faithful, true, and for you at
right,
that level is going to be very slim to none.
Right.
right.
So
And
then
that's
you
why I
have
said
to figure
come
out
at
what
your
your level
level.
is.
Yes, come at your level.
I
Absolutely.
And
agree.
another thing,
Yes.
motivation.
Mm,
That's another element that
yes.
a lot of men they don't have. They don't want to put the work into the relationship. So they will hide behind the cell phone, the smartphone. They don't want to put the work in. They want you to put the work in.
Okay.
That's
They don't
because
have the
Pastor the
motivation.
phone doing the work for him. Is that what it's doing, Pastor?
Yes.
It's doing the work for him.
Yes.
You can't do the work for them. They got to do it for themselves.
It's one of them real smartphones.
Somebody got to tell them that because it's not going to work that way.
Exactly. And then you're out on a date and you can't wait for it to be over because
Oh,
Mm,
it was so
wow.
one-sided.
mm.
So
Mm.
what's
The
the
date.
answer? What I'm sorry. What, Rochelle?
So what's the date?
I want to know, are you getting up and leaving? You getting up and leaving if the conversation isn't good?
No.
No, wait, hold up. A date, we better know that before we go on a date. I mean, I haven't been on one in a while, but I tell you what, if it's not good on the phone before we go, we are not going because as I
What
said,
if I met in person and he said, "Hey, can we meet here? Can we go out?" You don't really know
Because
what his conversation,
people
his vibe is
perform.
tonight.
Yeah, they perform over
But
that
before
phone.
we go like on a date, like I need to, hear you talk and we need to communicate. And if it's not there on a communication level, then it's not good. No, why waste my time? No, I'm not gonna waste your time or mine. No.
But
I
Mm-mm.
but
love
then there are guys who will say everything you want them to
Exactly.
say,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
they are ready. And then you've got those who will, if they hear about your background, they will say, well, you know what, I'm just the opposite of that. So they will convince you some kind of a way that they are the right one. So you can talk on the phone, you can go on the date,
Mm-hmm.
and still have someone who's just not
That's
honest at all.
Yeah, that's true.
performing.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, what did you say?
I said performing.
That's it.
Performance.
That's it. I think that's why I opened up with why. What is there to achieve at the end of the day? Other than the
the
obvious,
ability to say that you've conquered.
I guess.
I guess.
I guess. We would have to ask them.
We're going to have to get some of them on the show.
We're gonna have to do something, because I'm telling you, I want
we have questions. We want answers.
to know this, because it's really baffling. It's baffling for me. All right, so let me ask you. So we got these guys, or we have had some guys in our lives, and we had some challenges. What would you say was the worst or the most difficult challenge you had in your relationship?
I think, for me is knowing that I come with a pure heart, and I come with 100% with what you see with me is what you get. And I think sometimes you think in your mind, like, okay, I'm not going to get back what I put in. And I think that can be very difficult sometimes to face. If you know that you're not getting it back, we have to, as women, we have this thing called a built-in intuition, and we need to be able to listen to it, hear it, because it's, our intuition is usually right. It tells us, the facts. So being able to listen and accept it and be able to move on if you need to, could be a challenge, because you can enjoy the company and you don't want to probably be alone or lonely or whatever, but when like, okay, you got to move on, this is not going anywhere, that could sometimes be challenging when you enjoy the company, but it's not it, and you don't want to waste time. I don't want to waste time, and I don't want to waste your time, so we have to say adios amigos.
Mm-hmm. But some women think that they can make someone better.
No.
Right? Because we got the power.
Yeah, you probably can make someone better, but I don't want to like enter into a relationship and be like, oh, I could change him. No, I mean, we can change each other. We got to want to change if, things aren't the way they should be. But however, you can't go in a relationship expecting and thinking, I can definitely change him. No.
And I'm going to say one of the challenges would be moral integrity. When I'm not around, you do the right thing. When no one's around, you do the right thing. Mm-hmm. That's been definitely challenging in the past relationships that I've been a part of.
Right.
Yeah. And I'll piggyback off of that one and say it was when my physical safety, I felt my safety was compromised. When I no longer felt safe in my own home, I think that began to be a challenge with last relationship. A lot of addiction became involved in that relationship. And so when you no longer feel safe in your home, no matter how much you feel you want to be there and you want to show empathy and compassion and try to really be there to help someone out, eventually when your own safety you feel has been compromised, I think that you're no longer providing safety. So you're not doing your job effectively as a provider. So I that was a challenge in my last relationship.
How important is it for him to be a provider?
So it just depends on what we're providing. A lot of people consider providing just financial. But again, it's not the financial that I need to make sure you bring to the table. I need you to bring that emotional intelligence, as Pastor was saying. I need you to bring that self-regulation, that empathy. I need you to bring wholeness. I need you to bring a understanding and an open heart and an open mind. I need you to understand that once we become one, I need you to provide for me intimacy. There are things that I need you to provide as, as my husband, as my partner. So yes, I need you to provide safety. I don't need you, to say, hey, I'm going to always condone your wrong. No, I need you to provide guidance. I need you to provide leadership. So I need you to provide a lot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I agree with that. Mm-hmm.
So financial provision isn't the end all, because there are some women who say, you know, if he doesn't make the six figures plus, you know, it's just not going to work. So there's more to it then. It's not just
Absolutely.
that. If
I'll
he's
say those women are going to be single or cheated on. That's what I would say. If that's what their focus is, then, again, statistics don't lie. You're not going to be able to. There's so many men and so many at this rate. We're not going to be able to. So could he provide a life for you? Yes. But will you be happy with the life he can provide? You know, that's the question. If he's working at McDonald's and he's faithful and he's loving on you and he's giving you everything he needs and all he can afford is an apartment, are you okay with that? Because he's still providing shelter, he's providing for you. You just don't like that level. So, yeah, so it really just depends on what you need provided.
interesting. That was good. That was really good. And you know what? It takes someone to actually step back and say, you know, is that enough?
Is that
You
enough?
know, or do I need more? More in
Mhm.
this area, you know, and
And
less.
only you will be able to answer that because everyone's journey is different.
Mhm.
Right.
Okay. All right. So what about change? I've heard some men say that you can't expect me to change. And I've heard, you know, people in general say, you know, you shouldn't expect him to change. But everything changes. Nothing stays static. You know,
Right.
there's got to be some give and take, which evidently means change. So, what do you think about that? What do you think about men who say you can't change me?
You're lacking
Well,
emotional intelligence.
sounds like that he doesn't want to be changed. That's what it sounds like to me. If a man says that, he doesn't want change. He wants to stay right where he is,
Okay.
right where you met him at. He wants to stay right there forever.
What you see is what you get.
Yes, and that's to be like a sign. Again, people tell you who they are within, like, you meet a person within a day, they'll tell you who they are. You just got to listen. So he's already telling you, I don't want to change. I want to stay right here. I like it. I'm fine. Okay. If you as a female want to put up with that, is, you like it, then fine. That's whatever you like.
I would
So,
encourage the person to seek some counseling, some therapy. There's somewhere where they're stuck and they didn't develop past immaturity. And
mm,
so I will want to challenge them to push them where they stuck at. There's something probably traumatic in their life that they're probably clinging to that point in their life. They're
mhm,
holding on to it because it's their comfort zone. It's their
Right.
soft pillow or their soft blanket that they need. And so to challenge them to go past that, you know what? I went there before and I got hurt when I went there. So I'm not going back there. I'm staying right here because I'm
Afraid of
comfortable.
the
I
unknown.
built this wall
Yeah.
around this area. So I'm
mhm,
staying here.
Yep. Afraid of the unknown.
the unknown.
That's
Or
a good
the
point.
known. It could be the known. Like I say, it could be unknown or known.
Yeah.
And
That's a
it's
good
sad
point.
because everyone should want to change for the better. Everyone.
Yes.
Mhm.
We all have flaws. We all have sinned and come short of the
Yes.
glory of God. So, with that being said, we should all have a desire to change for the better.
Mhm.
Right.
You know, if you are a person that suffers from tardiness, you're late for everything, you should want to change that. You
Yeah.
know, maybe take some time management courses, you know, start out 2 hours prior, you know, when you're getting yourself together, watch the clock, watch your phone, making sure, you stay within the time a time frame so
But you
that
would
you're
have
not
to
late.
want to do it. You would have to want to do those things
That's right. That's
and
true,
be
Doc.
knowledgeable that, hey, you need
Mhm.
to change this. If somebody's saying they're not changing, they're not even aware that they need to change.
Yeah.
I would challenge them to say that I don't believe they perceive that they need to change.
Mm. So what do you do in a situation like that?
I think that if you meet somebody that doesn't want to change, it's like, why not? You met someone new. This is somebody new. You don't want to see what can happen, what new life you can have, what new experiences you can have. So, it goes back to Dr. Crawford saying, let me challenge this person to want to change, and, like Pastor said, listen, if you are doing the same thing over and over and over, it's insane to do it and not get new results. So I think to welcome a new experience, a new vibe, new move, new energy, why not welcome it and change? Because you're just going to stay stagnant, and the world's going to be moving without you. You're just going to be right there at your level that you're at. So it's got to be boring. It's got to be time for something new.
Mm-hmm.
The years change, time changed. Our lives are changing. We're getting older and not getting younger. So, why stay there? You don't have to stay there.
Right. It's a good point, but it's not rational though. It isn't, because people say all the time,
and they don't change.
And they don't change, just accept me as I am.
And they really want you to work with them.
Right.
I have a friend, and it's something similar in his relationship. The same thing is, he keeps saying, I can't get her to do it. I can't get her to do it. Well, if this is important to you in your relationship and you can't pop that question until she says or agrees that this is what she's going to do, then, you really need to think about popping that question, because she's telling you, she's showing you, you have to believe it. And she may not be the one for you, but she could be the one for somebody else. Somebody out there will like it. It's just not for you. So how bad do you want to take ownership of that and try to take that project on? And then are you prepared for the results when it fails? When you don't have enough to invest in the project no more, when you have to file bankruptcy, are you okay with that? Can you deal with that? Because that's going to be the outcome of it.
Sounds good, but and it sounds wonderful for those who aren't in a relationship. They have that option, but there's so many women who don't have the option because they are in a committed relationship.
And so I say, let it go. There are some things and some battles not worth it. There are some things, even in my marriage, there are some things that I do that bother him. There's some things that I do that bother me. And I'm just not going to change it. I'll be like, hey, you know what, baby, if it bothers you, you pick it up. Like, I'm used to throwing it down now, so you just pick it up if it bothers you. But is this worth an argument? No, some things just not. Is our love for each other and what everything else we have bigger than this one thing that you're not going to change on? And is it bothering you just because you have an issue? Now you're going to have to do some self-reflecting. Do you have a control issue? Is that bothering you so bad that you can't let it go? And again, what's the name? I've had to let some things go. Relationships aren't going to be perfect. It just depends on how much you want it and what you're willing to compromise on.
That's good. Sounds good. Pastor, you have a comment? You want to add to that?
One thing I do know, one of the things that have worked for me in my present relationship, there were some changes that I felt needed to be. So one thing I learned, that prayer changes things and prayer changes people. And sometimes, you have to pray and you have to sometimes fast and turn your plate down, because we know that the scripture says certain things only come by fasting and praying. So you have that combo. And sometimes you just got to turn your plate down and you got to pray. And if it's really bothering you to that point, you take it to God and say, God, I need you to change this situation, turn this thing around. First of all, work on me. So if it's anything in my life or anything that is not pleasing to you, I need you to work on me first. And then when you finish working on me, I need you to work on my partner. And I do know
Slide that one in.
God will do it. And then sometimes you have to take it to a higher level. Get that praying oil discreetly and start anointing the things that come in contact with your spouse or your partner. Just start anointing it. You don't have to drip it down in oil and all that. Just anoint the side of the bed, the lamp, the nightstand, his favorite cup, his lunchbox, his briefcase, his Kinecole briefcase that he take out every day to work. Start praying.
All right.
Watch God.
So, Roshelle, what is it that you think or you want from a man?
I want a man that is seeking the Lord, number one, just like myself, that wants to have the Lord in his life and he will honor the Lord. And I want a man that's consistent, a man that wants to know Roshelle inside and out. He wants to get to really know her, be respectful. I did say consistent, right?
Yes.
And be funny. I like a man that's funny. Make me laugh. Let's have fun, want to go places, do things. Is not afraid to take adventures. If we fail, we fail. Let's just do it together. Come on, I got you, him saying that to me, I got you as well, so I want a man that is true and real and genuine and loyal, faithful, and a man that wants to say, I want to give you my life forever.
I like it. I like it.
Love it.
Love it.
Amen.
Yes. What do you want? What do you want? What are you striving for more of, Dr. Crawford?
I'm just striving for more excitement, more adventure, getting out and traveling more, just doing more. We're doing weird activities now, things that people in our community would say is taboo. I want to jump out that plane. We want to go to the top of the mountain and go to Machu Picchu and really get to the top of outside. So I just want to explore. So I'm just so happy that I have someone who's willing to explore with me, and that's exploring, inside and outside of the relationship.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Pastor Sheared.
Well, I'm going to say I need more time. We need more time alone with the chaoticness of life. He's an entrepreneur. He works a regular 9 to 5, the ministry, the children. We don't have enough time. We just don't have enough time. And on the flip side, the funny side, I need a man that is interested in less football during football season. No, but that's okay though. Yeah.
Well, it's a short period of time.
I gotta say it's a short period. It's a short period.
I know, but it seems like it's forever.
It's 16 weeks, 17 weeks.
Wow.
It's a long time when you look at. We play.
Yeah,
but and one thing, if those 49ers lose or they don't do well, honey, you can cut the tension with a knife in the home.
Okay.
So, you all pray for my strength.
And see, I'm in the comedy house. I'm Dallas fan. Husband's a Giants fan, and the kids are Eagles fan.
Okay.
So football season is turned up in my house.
Okay.
We have.
And I'm not in sports.
And I'm not either at all.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, we make it very competitive in this house.
Okay. And he's even brainwashed the grandchildren. He told the grandchildren they would have to leave if they did not become a 49ers.
Oh,
So my
That's
little
so
granddaughter
hard.
went to school and told the teacher.
oh gosh.
That's cute. That is so cute. That is cute.
Yeah. So,
So we want our men to be emotionally intelligent, which speaks volumes.
Yes.
It's everything that we desire is kind of wrapped up in that. One thing we didn't talk about though was time. You know, spending time together,
yeah.
and I think we touched on the emotional intelligence because that person understands how much important it is to communicate, right? And to make sure everything is clear and there's no animosity and resentment. But we didn't really talk about time and how important that is. And it's like you've got to take it because
Right.
it's not just going to come easy to you. Do you agree with me?
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
You have to schedule. We schedule date night. We always make sure we go out. And we make sure on Saturday mornings that we go out and walk together. We make sure that we get that time together no matter what. That is one thing that I do think we do very well. We don't compromise our personal time for anyone. We will cut off events. We will just say, hey, we can't attend today. We invest in ourselves just as much as we invest in our children. They're all over the middle one is all over the state traveling, and we're up in New York and we're over here and in Boston next month. We're constantly on the road, but even within those road trips, we find the time to invest in ourselves while making it a family trip. It's like, okay, yes, this is a sporting event, but we're going to go ahead now. Everybody is down. Everybody's taken care of. Come on, let's me and you. We're going to go downstairs, go get some coffee, or go get a glass of tea. Just make it whatever. Even if you can find 5 or 10 or 20 minutes, take
Mhm.
that 5, 10, or 20 minutes and invest in your relationship.
Mhm.
That's right.
Exactly. So, Pastor Shared, you've got to do that as well. And I know you're working on it because
I'm
it's
working.
so important, especially when
Yeah.
you've got ministry and work.
Yes. Yes.
Committed time is so critical.
And
Uh,
you pour in, especially in ministry, you're constantly pouring in, and you need the
Yes.
only one who can pour into you in a way that you can really be replenished is your partner, is your spouse.
That's
So it
right,
is
Doc.
vital that y'all have
Mhm.
that intimacy and that connection there, and by any means necessary.
that's
That's right.
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 That's right. It's a matter of pouring into each other, so that you're not depleted. Because in some relationships, only one person is pouring or pouring more than, and you can become depleted. So you've got to pour into one another equally and in different ways, but so that there's a balance.
That's right.
Are there, yes,
There,
go ahead. Yes.
there's an survey. I'm not going to recall it right now, but there's a survey that says like what you need in a relationship, like if you're gifted, like if you're a love language.
Yes.
I encourage every relationship to take that. We do it in the office. And we literally found that, hey, that actually transports into the workplace because you receive information the same way. Like even though it's a separate relationship, there's no intimacy, you're still getting orders, you're still being led by your leader. You still have to know how to communicate when you need something. And the same way that we need psychological safety in the home, psychological safety is a big thing in the workplace as well. We all want to feel like we belong. We all want to feel like we can contribute. And that we can challenge our partners and we can learn from it. So the same thing that we push and we teach in the workplace, psychological safety, we can actually employ those same 4 principles in our relationship. And it's literally
Yeah. Someone said to me a couple of weeks ago, and I thought it was powerful because it came from a man. And he said, a man wants a partner. He wants to know that there's someone who has his back, and where he's not. So here's a different perspective, where he's not giving everything, where
Absolutely.
he's being poured into and being loved on. And so I think that that is so important, because if you find a man or woman who is your partner,
Mm,
that is such a powerful comment, such a powerful statement.
absolutely.
You know, someone who's got your back. Pastor, you want to say something?
No.
No, okay. So that's what we want. We want a partner, and we're going to find one. We're going to believe
Absolutely.
for that, and that the partnership that currently exists is nothing more than strengthened, because that's
Absolutely.
the way it's supposed to be. I believe that that's what God desires. I thoroughly enjoyed this conversation.
Absolutely.
Yes. Are there any other comment you want to make before we end this podcast? Anything else?
Not I.
No?
No, I enjoyed you ladies thoroughly.
Likewise.
Here.
Yes.
Same here.
Yes.
Very good. Thank you so very much. And I just want to put a plug in that you'll be able to see this on Facebook and YouTube, and then, of course, my podcast on any platform that you listen to. All right. So
Well,
tell your
thank
friends and family, thank you so much. All right.
Have a
you.
good night.
All
Good
right.
night.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye.